Hey guys, what's up? It's just Connor here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 6 ways that you can start thinking like the rich, right? Now, I don't mean that in any internet marketing wanky way. I mean that in the most sincere way. I truly do think that wealth, right, and changing your life from at least from a financial perspective, it starts up here, right? It starts in the way that you view the world. It starts in the way that your current paradigm, right? The way that you view things, right? Your current belief system, right? That is where everything truly starts, right? Now, this has been accumulated over 4-5+ years of me being in rooms with multi-millionaires, multi-7-figure entrepreneurs, 8-figure entrepreneurs, right? Inclusive of surrounding my circle of people, of very, very close friends of mine, right? That all do 30, 40, 50K per month, all the way up to 130K per month, right? As 20 to 28-year-old entrepreneurs, right? So everything that I'm telling you in this video is going to be of value and of course is coming from experience, right? So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in, right? So obviously the key premise of this video, again, is something to really understand is you need to invest in your thinking, not just strategy. This is a big thing that we talk about, quite often inside of the Remote Sales Academy, right? Is that you need to invest in your thinking. You need to constantly work on the way that you think, right? The way that you view the world, your perspective, your paradigm, right? Because that's where it all starts, right? Super often that I see this is very, very commonly underlooked, right? And it's definitely something that a lot of people don't work on, right? So that's kind of the first step, but it's not a point, right? The first way, right, that people think differently, right, to become more financially abundant, right, or more financially successful is the way they think about time and resources, right, time and money, right? A big common excuse that I hear all the time is you need to change your language from I don't have the time to it's not a priority, right? You need to change your language patterns from I don't have the time to it's not a priority for me right now, right? If you're not going to the gym and you're neglecting it and you're saying that you don't have the time, it's not that you don't have the time, it's that you don't have the priority for it, right? You always have the time, you just have to make the time for what you want, right? For what's most important in the world, right? If you're telling yourself the excuse that you don't go to the gym and you don't have the time to do it, it's not true. How much time do you spend on your phone? How much time do you spend doing other activities that is not going to the gym, right? Not a difference of time, it's a difference of priority, right? This comes into self-accountability, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. But the key thing as well, if it's not a matter if you can't afford something, right? It's a matter if you can find the resources to get it, right? I speak to many, many people every single week, right? Who want to join the Remote Sales Academy. Few of them don't have the funding up front, and that is okay, right? Not everybody has, right, the amount that's required to join the RSA up front, and that's totally okay. But the people that are going to make it in life and get to where they want to be is they say, Connor, this sounds good, right? This is exactly what I'm looking for, right? I'm going to go ahead and find the funding to join your training program, right? That is the difference, right? Saying that you don't have the money and that you can get the money are a totally different thing. If you say you don't have the money, that's in a scarcity mindset. It's less of an abundance mindset. Sure, you may not have the money now, but you can get access to it, right? You might have relatives that might give you a loan. You can sell things, right? You can get credit cards, right? You can do what you need to do to get to where you want to be, right? And leveraging credit, just as I guess the same analogy goes, is all the people in New York, right, that built those skyscrapers, they didn't have all the money up front, right? They got investors, they got loans, right? They leveraged finance to get to where they want to be, right? They didn't use cash that they had, right? They used other people's money, right? Which is a form of leverage, okay? So that's the first point, right? You need to start thinking of like, okay, this is something that I don't have a priority for. It's not that I don't have the time. It's something that I'm not prioritizing, right? Something really, really key there. Now, the second way, right, to start thinking like the rich, right, to start thinking like someone who can get to where you want to be, right, is that you're paid on your results, not your effort, right? This is why I teach sales primarily, is it's by far the number one best skill for you to learn, right? To understand how valuable you can be to the marketplace, right? I'm going to give you an example of this, right? There's two people, right? There's one person who works in the per hour or a salary model, right? And there's one person who adds more value to the marketplace, either through owning a business or through sales, right? One of, the most, important skills that you can add value to any business, right? Perhaps even marketing, right? Who's going to make more, right? As you continue, because the problem is, right, if you're working in a job and they are just capping you and you're limited by the amount of hours that you work, or you can't really increase your pay that much, right? The only time that you increase your pay is by length of duration that you work in, not from the actual inputs, right? But from the time that you've worked with a company. They give you upgrades, they give you bonuses, all that type of stuff, right? Or it's, usually that's the way that you get upgrades, right? That's the way that you increase your salary. Whereas in sales, the more value you add to the business, the more you get paid, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, again, you need to think about selling the outcome, not how hard you work, right? So many people get stuck in this awful fucking trap of thinking that the harder you work, the more you get paid. And it could be further from the truth. The harder you work, the more you get paid if you're in an industry where it allows it, right? Whereas at least 90% of the jobs aren't going to allow you to do that, right? Because you're stuck in a salary or per hour model, right? So just look at my notes here. So, how hard you work, sell and deliver the outcome, right? You're selling the outcome. You're selling the result, not the effort, right? You're selling your time. You're selling your exertion, right? You're selling your sheer inputs, right? Your sheer work, right? You need to start thinking about how you can start selling results rather than your time, right? Wealthy, right? They want to spend their money, not their time, right? Not the time and their energy. They know they can exert money because they can get more of it, but they can't get more time back, right? Hopefully that's starting to make sense. Number 3, right? Treating everything like a learning moment, right? There's no failure, only feedback, and treating everything like it's data, right? I've failed many, many times in my life, right? Flat on my face. I've been scammed, right? I've been an idiot, and I've sent crypto to a guy to buy a YouTube channel off when I tried to do YouTube channels back when I was 16, 17. We live and we learn, right? There's no failure, only feedback, right? And when you start thinking like that, you're going to have a much more positive outlook on, the learnings that you're going to get, right? And I don't really call them failures, right? I call them learnings, right? The key thing is, it's only a failure if you don't learn from it, right? And so many people, they either get scammed in this industry, they get scammed once and they're, all right, Connor, been scammed once, I'm never going to try and, be financially successful online ever again. What the fuck, dude? Makes no sense, right? I understand where you're coming from, but if you get burned once, you can't do that, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? If you were to, it's again, another analogy is, if you've been burned in the past, if you were in a car crash and you weren't severely injured, would you walk everywhere or would you continue to drive again? Well, I'd probably continue to drive again. It's the same thing here. That same principle applies here, right? When it comes to business, when it comes to getting your finances up, when it comes to personal success, you can't let one failure set you back and just give up, right? If you give up, you're not going to get to where you want to go, right? So you need to be more optimistic in the way that sometimes, in fact, all the time, you're going to get L's, right? You're going to lose, right? I lose all the time. I also win all the time, right? And that's okay. There's an even balance, right? But as long as you learn from your losses, that is really, really, really key there. All right. My next point is that they invest in themselves, right? Rich people invest in themselves. They invest in themselves knowing that they're going to get a high ROI. I've personally invested over 100,000. I think it's actually getting close to 110, 120,000 in my own education, training, masterminds, networks, surrounding with the right people, right? I have got infinite ROI on that, right? Rather than investing in real estate or investing in crypto or all those other types of things, which again, I recommend that you do. But in this stage of my life, where I'm specifically focused is investing in skills, investing in me, right? Because why? Because I know I have control of that, right? The more skills that you have, the more valuable you become to the marketplace, the more valuable you become to the world, the more you will make more money, right? If you have that money stuck in real estate, if you have that money stuck in crypto, if that money stuck in whatever it might be, and you're not leveling up your skills, well, then how about more valuable are you to the marketplace? How can you increase your active income? A lot of people seek to have passive income way too early. Can assure you, passive income comes from a lot of hard work, right? It comes from a lot of active income, and to develop active income, you need the right skills, right? So what I've found is a lot of people, right, they surround myself with millionaires every single day, right? Losing my words, guys. Multi-seven-figure entrepreneurs, right? They're 23, 24, 25. The key difference I've found between all of them is a lot of them have invested in their skills, not in real estate or whatever it might be, right? Up to you what you invest in. But what I've found is surrounding myself with the right people, and what have served me best is investing in the right skills, investing in communities, investing in networks, right? Building a reputation, right? When I invested $20,000 into my highest regarded sales mentor, that changed my life, completely changed my life, right? Obviously, I took it by the balls and I got after it, but still, that completely changed my life because I learned one skill and I got really fucking good at it, right? Being sales. I will never have to worry about, oh shit, I'm hitting the table now. I will never have to worry about money ever again. Every room that I walk into, I am a now valuable asset to anybody, right? People of high value, what's one thing that they all have in common that they're most likely wanting to learn about, or most likely you can add value to? It's sales, right? Sales is a skill that you can walk into any room and provide value to anybody at an exponential level, right? And almost effortlessly when you get really good at it, right? It takes you like less than 30 minutes, right? To really, to potentially add tens, hundreds of thousands, if not millions to their bottom line, right? Or their top line, right? Either or. So that's another thing there, right? Two last points here, so stick with me. So the second last point is that they surround themselves with winners, right? So this is really, really big. I've unconsciously done this for many, many years, and I found a mentor when I started out, right? In fact, if I'm going to blend that point, I'm going to blend 2 points there. Surrounding yourself with a community of winners, plus, hence, getting a mentor, right? Having a mentor that's been where you want to be, that's successful, right, and has achieved the outcome or the result that you want to achieve is infinitely more powerful, right, than anything else that you can really invest into, right? Going to do a video on this in the future, but really when you understand that there is an equation behind success, the equation is the actions you take plus the strategy multiplied by the exponent of time, you will get the result, right? If you're following a proven strategy, you're doing the actions, you're following the strategy, over a certain amount of time, you get to where you want to be. It's literally that simple, but most people fuck it up. And so by surrounding myself with people who, again, continue, right, to push me to new levels, right, that have a higher standard, right, but more importantly, where I want to be, right, I'm going to be more encouraged and be more motivated to get to those levels, right? So it's really, really important. Surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to be, right, but also people that encourage you and support you on your journey is super, super important, right? Now, the last one here is probably the most important out of this entire list, right? The reason I say that is because this one thing was the key transition or the key paradigm shift that I had that changed the entire trajectory of my life. So pay close attention, very, very close attention. Everything in your life is there because you manifested it or because you allowed it. Right, let me say that again. Everything in your life is there because you manifested it, because you allowed it, right? Alex Hormozi said it best. Poverty will keep you or will keep you poor, right? And teach you lessons it needs to teach you until you learn this one thing. And the one thing that changed everything for him, changed everything for me, was the words, my fault, right? The key way that you are going to get to where you want to be is accepting responsibility, right? If you accept that you are where you're at in life because of you and only you, no one else's fault, right? Sometimes it may not be your fault, but it's definitely your problem. But you need to take that accountability. You need to take that responsibility for where you are at in life. It's not your friend's fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not whoever you want to blame fault, right? No one's fault but yours, right? Every single entrepreneur that I've met that is, absolutely exponentially successful, where I want to be, right? And all my mentors that I've had up until this point, they all take exceptional self-accountability, right? And full responsibility. That is the difference, right? That is the difference. If you change that way of thinking, I guarantee you, you will start taking a step in the right direction, right? Really take that on board, right? That is the one lesson that I learned from spending almost $7,500, right? Back when I was 18, right? That was the key pivotal shift that changed pretty much the entire trajectory of my life, okay? So please take it on and please take it on board, all right? Sweet, guys. So that is the 6 ways to think like the rich, right? To change your paradigm, change your belief systems. Now, hey, if you want to learn more about how you can become better, right? You want to get involved in remote sales, there's going to be a link somewhere in my bio or, somewhere in the description, somewhere on the YouTube page, you'll find it, to book a call, right? If you want to learn more about this, right? If you want to learn more about how you can get involved in remote sales, right? Change your belief systems, change your mindset, and learn from, someone who's spent time rubbing shoulders with millionaires and, is actually exactly where you want to be, right? And is years ahead of you, then I encourage you, right? Find the link, book a call. I'll make sure it's more organized in the future, but I think a lot of people watching these videos appreciate the rawness and the realness, because there's a lot of fake people in this industry, and hopefully, at least in this video, you got some key takeaways and you got some valuable insights at the least. All right. So sweet, guys. Hope you're having an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video.